Apologise to many of you who wrote in saying that I might have said Wednesday the 8th of April earlier, when it is in fact the 7th of April. Clearly, I'm discombobulated because Bill's in Milton Keynes. Morning, Bill. Who have you got there?
Morning. Well, you might be more discombobulated. This is my new co-presenter, actually. We get on very, very well because he doesn't actually say very much. I'm only kidding. And we all get the date wrong from time to time. But this is the successor to Essex man, Mondeo man and Worcester woman. Conservative researchers say that he is a crucial sector of the vote for people to go and get in this election, especially in tightly contested seats like the one we're in at the moment. He's called Motorway Man. He likes his car, he's got a fair amount of debt, he lives on the outskirts of cities like this, and he lives in places like Milton Keynes.
He's the man all the parties want to impress. He's got a decent job, likes his motor, and of course, he's going places. He's Motorway Man, or woman. And the big question is, who's he going to vote for in this election?
You think you might be related to Motorway Man here? What are you thinking about the way you might vote this time?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm thinking it might be Tory, but I think then again it might be Gordon Brown still.
I think I'm a bit torn, thinking, should I ever stop with Labour because we've always been with Labour, or should we go Tory? And because it's a bit.
I'm like that. I've always been Labour. Family's always been Labour, and that's why I've stuck with Labour. But now I'm trying to with what's happened, and
it may be a change.
That don't impress me much.
So what else do we know about Motorway Man? Well, he's a homeowner, in his mid-30s, probably married but without any kids, and not surprisingly, lives close to a motorway. So how do the experts think he or she might vote?
We've looked at YouGov analysis and we've seen how they've changed over the last 5 years. In 2005, in 1997, they would have been very much New Labour, but now they have changed over that period of time. They're very much blue now, so they are an opportunity for Cameron.
Will Motorway Man then really give the Conservatives a head start in the race to number 10?
I don't know whether they're all as bad as each other, to tell you the truth, you know.
Once all the people come on TV and put forward what they want, then I'll probably choose.
And when they're taking it easy, the best place to find these swing voters is where they practice their swing.
I have no allegiance at the moment. I don't have any with David Cameron or Gordon Brown. They would really have to win my vote, and so far neither of them have really done it for me.
How big an issue is the financial aspect for you in this election?
Well, I mean, if I had any money left for them to manage, I think that would be ideal. But no, I actually don't think I'm doing too bad at the moment. The interest rates are low for my mortgage. I'm very pleased with that. But I don't think the Conservatives are going to do any better.
What's clear around here is that there are plenty of motorway men and women, but lots of them still undecided as to how they're going to vote. And you can ask some of them as many times as you like, and they just can't say.
And some election quick facts for you. There are this time round 650 parliamentary seats up for grabs. The number changes from time to time because of the boundary reorganisation. This time it's a round number, 650. But of those seats, over the past 40 years, almost half of them have remained unchanged. So for 4 decades, they've remained in the same hands. And that means that the election is pretty much won in 100 key marginals, where a small swing from one side to the other will determine the election result. And it's interesting, there's been a poll recently of people living in these seats. 3/4 of them, 75%, aren't aware that their vote is that important. What do the parties have to do to win their support in places like Milton Keynes? Well, with us this morning are Jonathan Gabai, who's a branding expert, and Matthew Oliver, who works for a group called Unlock Democracy. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Matthew, let me start with you. How are the parties going to unlock democracy? What does it mean, by the way?
Unlock democracy. We're encouraging as many people to use their vote in this election as possible. This election is our chance to hold MPs to account and also to praise them on the good work that they do. If people are making important decisions on how it affects health, economy, crime, then we should have a say in how they vote. And this is what hopefully VoteMatch will help them do.
All right, we'll come back to VoteMatch in a minute. I just want to talk to Jonathan for a second about branding, because you know, you think election. We know there's a lot of marketing and advertising goes on in elections, but isn't it really about politics and issues?
Look, a lot of people are asking me, they're saying to me, you know, personality over policy, is that absolutely appropriate? My answer is, to a point, it is. I tell you why. If I was going to lend you some money, okay, you'd want to know who I am, or you were to lend me some money. We'd like to know who we are. In other words, can we trust each other? And so what happens is that the electorate, the voter, they're looking, can I trust this guy? What's their family like? All these sorts of things are giving a picture. And when we vote for people, we're voting for people who are like us. And this is a classic thing in branding. What we're doing is that we're trying to find a brand that reflects our needs, our aspirations, and so on and so forth. What the politicians have to do is use branding to get that message across, that yes, this is what it's about.
Okay. You've got a program here, though, Matthew, which will help people determine, if they're not sure, actually, whether they are Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem, or any of the other parties, you can effectively tell them. Now, explain to us how this system works.
Yeah, I mean, we're not telling them how to vote, let's be clear. It's called VoteMatch, not VoteTell. But basically, what it does is you take a short quiz. You just answer 30 agree or disagree statements.
Right.
And then essentially, it asks, we give them a match to the party that's closest to their views.
Right. What does it give us an example?
For instance, new prisons need to be built to ease overcrowding. So if you agree with that, you just click agree, and then you go to the next one. UK's stock of nuclear weapons needs to be reduced. So they're Marmite statements. You immediately know whether you agree or you disagree. At the end of the quiz, you get asked which issues are the most important to you. So crime, health, education. And then again, what issues are the least important?
And it ends up then telling you more or less what the programme thinks you are.
Yeah, it gives you a match to the parties that closely reflect your views on those particular issues. But it's a first stop shop. We encourage you to go to all sorts of other organisations, debate-wise.
Very interesting. Jonathan, this has lots of implications for the parties, really, doesn't it?
Absolutely, but you see, when the branding comes in, Bill, when the branding comes in, what happens then? It's about the nuances. It's the nuances of a message. So if you're going to say two parties are going to say we're all about crime and stuff like that, then we've got to have a look at the nuances in terms of, well, how do they differ in their approach, in their delivery, and so on and so forth. We're going back to trust and sincerity again.
Okay, all right. Do you know what I found as these elections go by? It just gets more and more complicated. I know you're all trying to help, but actually the more nuances as you put it, the harder it gets. It's an interesting idea you've got there. Jonathan, Matthew, thanks both very much. And later we're going to be looking at what the complications could be if everybody votes too many different ways and you end up with a hung parliament. See you later, Sean.
That'll be interesting. Thank you very much, Bill. See you later on. Don't forget you can follow the details of the campaign over the next few weeks on our special Election 2010 website. It really is worth a look because it's packed with extra analysis and special features. It's got a guide showing where the three main parties stand on issues like health and crime and the economy, and also if you haven't yet registered to vote, you can find out how you do that as well. All that and more, bbc.co.uk/election. There's the address there.